Welcome to Panfish Nation. I'm Lyle, your host tonight, and Mark is not feeling well, so if he gets feeling better, maybe he'll jump in here in a little bit. But until then, we have a guest tonight, Jeremy Colvin. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hey, thanks for having me there, Lyle.
Oh man, glad to see you are available. I think we had you on once before, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a couple years, I think.
Yeah, and it shouldn't have been. I should have stepped up and figured it out, but I forget things, and we get to doing other stuff. You know how that goes.
Uh,
But, I Mark was thrilled that you was going to be on here, so I know he's a little heartbroken that he's not here tonight. But if you don't feel good, you don't feel good, and hopefully he'll get over that, and he'll be back next week. I'm quite sure. So we'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here, and then we'll say hello to everybody. But um, I know that you have had some rough water to fish in your area this year.
we have. We had Kentucky's been hit hard with a lot of rain this year, and we've been flooded out since about March. Uh, I was telling you earlier, our lake actually got up to 38 feet above summer pool.
Wow.
All the fish were kind of scattered in the woods where you couldn't get a boat to. So the fishing, a lot of the boat ramps and stuff had just been underwater
Right.
but we're getting close to back to normal now. The fishing's actually picking up, and we're ready to get back after it.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. I used to fish Truman Lake a lot years ago, and they had a record flood down there one year, and it was 30 or 40 feet above normal pool for spring and summer. And people was going along on the bluffs and marking lines with spray cans and writing the date on it where the water was up at. And you go through there now and you're looking up like this. I mean, it's way up there. That a 36, 38 foot rise is a big rise on a lake. Now it really is.
It is, and I saw some lines and dates spray painted on the bridges, so kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it is the same thing. But you know, I used to see that on the Mississippi and the Missouri River a lot, but you expect them to flood every spring. In fact, they've been flooded quite a bit this year, but not records. But when Truman Lake got that high, it got my attention. But I was like you, I was catfishing, and the bite was on fire, and I was going every day that I could through the week, on the weekends. It didn't matter because everybody else was afraid of it because most of the guys never seen current like that, and hell, it was nothing compared to the big river. So we was right at home, and the fish, the blue cats, they was raring to go. So we had a good time through that, and but you get to fish some areas that you don't normally fish in because you can get up in them fields where them blue cats, flatheads and stuff go and eat them worms and stuff out of them fields. And man, oh man, it was hot. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we're expecting a really good fall bite, late summer and early fall bite, because these fish have basically had zero pressure on them all summer. So I think the size and numbers is just going to be there. I think we're going to have a great fall this year.
That's awesome. I'm happy for you because I'm sure you're going to be busy this fall guiding and everything. But do you ever get out and just pleasure fish, just you and family?
I try to get out during the week after work a little bit. That's kind of my time to go. And if I don't, I haven't done many guide trips this year just because of the flooding. I've been traveling to different lakes, fishing with different people and stuff, and just because I mean this lake's been pretty much unfishable earlier in the year. So, but we're getting back to normal. And if I don't have a guide trip on the weekend or something, then yeah, I'll be out there for sure.
Yeah, I bet so. Well, let's see if we welcome some people into chat. Got Mike Sampson's joined us, Joe Buck 66, Bugman, Mark Barnum, Heather and Cindy are here, and Schmieder of the Cedar. So far, those are the ones. If you guys, there's a lot more people that's watching the show that's not in chat, and just click the subscribe button, and you can get right in there and be part of the chat, join everybody, and we'd love to have you in. Um, I know that you used to fish for catfish quite a bit. Have you give that up?
No, I haven't, Lyle. I used to guide for catfish and crappie, and it just got to be a little bit too much for me to work a full-time job and try to have caught for the weekend, and things just didn't line up. It got to be more trouble than it's worth. So now I primarily just guide for crappie, but I do get out and fun fish for the catfish. I sold my catfish boat several months back. I'm doing my catfishing out of a kayak, and
wow,
catching them like that, it's fun to me. So,
have you ever turned that thing over?
Knock on wood, I haven't yet.
I have always thought that those guys that fish out of kayaks, especially for catfish, because they're most of the time they're fishing for big fish, must have a skill to keep from rolling that baby over with one of the big fish coming up. But I guess they surely must be more stable than I think they are.
I got one of the biggest ones you can get. Mine's 41 inches wide. And the big key to that for not flipping over is just to keep a loose drag. Make sure that fish is, good and tired when you get him up to the kayak. If you think he's going to run again, just leave that, leave the drag loose a little bit, let him run. Because if you have a tight drag, then that's what can get you and pull you over.
I can relate to that. Yeah, absolutely. Since we're on the subject of your guiding stuff, why don't you tell everybody where you guide and all about your guide service and how they can get a hold of you and all that right quick?
Okay. I got for crappie here on Barren River Lake. I'm in Glasgow, Kentucky. I'm about 30 minutes from Bowling Green, Kentucky. So we're down close to the Kentucky-Tennessee line. Barren River Lake's a 10,000 acre reservoir. We have a great crappie population, and the size is really getting there. They bumped our size limit up about 3 years ago from 9 inches to 10 inches, and we've seen a big increase in the size. We're catching a lot more 11, 12s, and 13-inch crappie now that we didn't used to catch. So that's been a good thing for the lake. But overall, it's a good lake to come if you want to catch numbers. Just come out and have a good time. Bring the kids. I always say, just give me a call. We can put my number up later, or you can
absolutely
book Barren River Fishing Charters.
Okay, good. That way, people interested in coming to visit you, you can take them out and catch some fish. Up in the air, outdoors has joined us. I don't know if I remember if I said anything to Mark Barnum or not, but he's in chat with us. Did you say that was 1,000 acre lake?
10,000.
10,000. I was going to say 1,000 acres isn't very big to have the amount of crappie and stuff you got.
Yeah,
10,000. That makes more sense.
Yeah, it's still not a great big lake.
No,
it's big enough to hold a big population of crappie.
Well, crappie are pretty prolific breeders. They're kind of like rabbits. They're everywhere, and they grow pretty fast.
They do. Back when the whole live scope deal got started a few years ago, I got to, I was kind of one of the ones that was kind of worried about, what's this going to do to our crappie population and stuff. But I was wrong about what I thought about that, and the population is healthier. We have more numbers of crappie today than we probably ever had, and we have bigger crappie today.
Right, that's good because I think when live scope come out, that was a concern for a lot of people that didn't tournament fish.
Right.
So the tournament guys, they love it because they can tell what fish they want to catch and specifically target that fish, and that's all pretty good. So thank you, Mark. The Benoit ladies have joined us, but I can't tell where it's hurt any population anywhere that I fish. I don't think they should be allowed in tournaments, but that's just me. I have different ideas about a lot of things than a lot of people do. And the tournament guys, they're going to say, "Oh, you're crazy," because, well, everybody can't afford it, and that gives them an unfair advantage. So unless they make them things where it's affordable for everyone, then I don't think they should be allowed to use it. But that's just my opinion.
Right.
But I do know that in the catfish world now, I know some guys that use it and they will set and fish all day for one fish because they know how big it is, or a spot that's got numbers in it.
And I
You
think,
didn't have that before.
and I think you're going to see more of that in the next year or two.
I think so too, because every year, Jeremy, these, it doesn't matter if it's Garmin, Humminbird, or Lowrance. Every year, the new technology gets better and better and better, and it's kind of scary. But like I say, if you got the dough, you can sure figure it out pretty quick. And I understand they're not that hard to figure out. So I don't know. I don't have one. Really not interested in getting one, but I use side scan.
Right.
And you can pick out bluegill beds and crappie beds and stuff like that with side scan. And when that come out, everybody thought it was an unfair advantage and how people was going to rape all the fish. And it didn't happen with that either.
For me, it's more or less a tool. When I get clients on the boat, they want to go, just catch one right after another after it.
Right.
And it allows me to pull up to these brush piles and stuff, and I can scan it real quick and see how these fish are positioned on the structure. And that in itself will tell you if these fish are active,
Right.
I want to see them suspended above that brush, or if they're on a standing timber or something. If I see them stacked up in a straight line, I know those are inactive fish. I want to see them in a ball around the stand. I know that's feeding fish right there. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it for me. I can stop and know, hey, these fish are going to bite.
Right. And those people that are hiring you, they want on fish.
They do.
That's why they're in your boat. They want you to put them on fish, and they want to catch fish, and being able to tell if they're active or inactive. Man, that is a huge thing for a guy guiding.
And especially when you get kids on the boat, you can kind of, when you're dropping down on some of these fish, you can kind of stop them before that hook reaches the brush pile, and we're not hanging up all the time. So that eliminates.
Right. I'll put that up there so people can go over and sub to your YouTube channel.
Right.
I'll put that up there for us. And, well, we'll put this one up now. Barren River Charter. There's his Facebook page where you guys can check him out and go in there and holler at Jeremy and get you a trip down on the lake there. Here's a comment from up in the air. He says, before long, you'll be able to see fish disappear. Well, you can. You can now. You can watch the fish actually take your bait, and you can pull it up and watch it all as it's happening right there on that live scope. It's pretty cool. I mean, it is fun to watch. I enjoy seeing them guys put them videos up for that. I've not actually been in a boat with somebody that's got and I've had opportunities to, but I'm afraid if I get to liking it too much, I'd have to have one, and I'm very happy with what I got. So, there's that. Hello, Mason. Glad to see you in here. My grandson, he likes to fish. He likes to tie jigs. He's actually worked on some fishing rods before, so we'll see how he turns out with all that. Somebody needs to do it.
Something cool I kind of saw this past week. I was in Louisiana fishing with a guy, and the bite was really, really slow while we were down there, and you couldn't hardly feel him bite. And we were fishing for this one fish, and I thought I seen him bite my jig on the live scope screen, but I wasn't for sure. I didn't feel a thing, but he said set the hook, and of course I set the hook, and he was there, but never felt anything. And he said he could see the crappie's gills flare out on that screen.
Really?
I've never seen that. I didn't catch it, but I thought that was pretty neat.
Mason said he caught a bunch of bluegill on live minnows today. Wow.
Must be some big bluegill.
Must be some big bluegill. I tell you, and we talked about this before the show. There for about 2 weeks, I would go bluegill fishing, and I was catching channel cat after channel cat after channel cat on jigs. Now, I don't know if they was coming off nests. I don't know what the deal was. I haven't caught one in a while now, but there for a while, you catch as many channel cat as you did crappie, because I wasn't fishing for crappie, but you always end up catching a couple. Regardless, I was trying to catch bluegill, and now I've concentrated on the crappie because, well, I like to eat them.
Yeah, and I've noticed like here on the lake that I got on, a lot of the places that have the standing tent that I fish for these crappie, there's always channel cats in there, and it never fails. If I'm pitching a popeye jig, they for whatever reason love a popeye jig. You wouldn't think
Yeah.
that thing, but channel cats love that thing.
I'll be damned. What colors is it? Does it matter?
I use chartreuse and blue.
And blue? I have a question for you.
All right.
I have a vise right here where I was tying a jig before it started. And this isn't a Popeye jig, but this part here is the inside out of a stuffed toy that my dog tears up. I got shitloads of that laying all over my floor. So I've been using it like dubbing and putting it on jigs. Whether it's going to work or not will remain to be seen. But on these jig heads, how important do you think eyes are on a jig head?
I probably haven't tested that theory a lot. Most of my jigs don't have eyes on them. I never really thought about it, to be honest with you.
I have been in debates with people online about that. I don't think it makes a damn bit of difference. Now, these are ones that Mark give me, and I tied some up tonight, and they have a spot, an indent in there for where you set the eyes and glue them in, and then resin over top of them or fingernail polish, whatever you want to use. And if I put an eye on it, it's a felt marker, and I just go in there and then put UV resin over top of it. That's about the extent of the eyes. I can't never get the eyes on a round jig head. I can't get them the same on each side for whatever reason. The one's higher or lower, or forward or back or something. And hey, Matt, how you doing, buddy? But I just cover them up, and then once it sets up, I take a drop and put it right on top of it. And it's got a little bulge on the eye. Now, whether that makes any difference or not, I haven't had any trouble catching them without eyes. And I know some other guys say, "Oh man, I won't fish a jig if they don't have one there." But I just was curious of what you thought about that.
I think the main two things when you're using a jig is size and color. Now, you're going to want to match the size of whatever bait fish you got for that time of year. You know, in the summertime, a lot of shad's smaller early summer and stuff, so I like to throw smaller stuff. Later on in the year, I kind of get bigger, but I think the color and the size is the two factors.
You know, I am shocked right now that we've got shad in these lakes around here this big, popping up out of the water when stuff's chasing them. I thought they would be 2 or 3 inches by this time of the year, but I guess they was late. Like, because I know in our area, flatheads and stuff was late spawning, and I guess either that or they have more than one spawn a year. I don't know how shad do. I never really looked into that, but man, there's a lot of little ones. I was standing on that dock the other day, and there were just hundreds of them. And here come a bluegill, and they just all start jumping out of the water, trying to get away from it. They know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know if it was like that in your area or not, but it seems like there's a lot of small ones right now.
Yeah, our water was so high this year, I really don't know when and how the fish spawn. I've heard some people say that it's probably going to be a super spawn. Next year's looking great, but I mean, I really have no idea because, like I said, you couldn't hardly get on the lake late spring and early summer at all.
Right. That's why you've been going around everywhere else to fish, because you just couldn't get out there. But you're back to normal now, so you ought to be able to go out there and just tear them up.
Yes, we're within a 1 foot of summer pool, so the fish are back to the summer structure. They're usually holding on. I got to go out last week a couple times, and the bite was just really turned on last week. So I'm looking forward to this weekend, hopefully catching some good ones.
That sounds like a plan. There's Chrissy Brown has joined us. Glad to see you in here, Chrissy. What is your favorite way to catch fish? Do you pull jigs or anything behind your boat, or you just spot lock on them and fish them vertical jig them, or what's your favorite way?
If it's just me and I don't have any clients in the boat, I like fishing brush piles. I like just pitching, flipping the jig, swimming it over that brush pile. I'm not big on spider rigging or pulling crankbaits. I do if I have to, if that's what I have
Right.
to do on the boat. But if it's just me fun fishing, I'm going to have one pole in my hand all day, and I'm just going to have that jig or minnow tied on and working them brush piles.
Do you use a lot of live bait?
I do. If I'm going out by myself, a lot of times I'll just use the jigs, but it depends on who I have on the boat with me. I get a lot of people that's never really crappie fished, or people that's never crappie fished just want to learn, get into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to teach somebody in the first 2 or 3 hours, how to work a jig properly to get that bite. And so it's just easier for me to bring minnows too. I'll keep a bucket of minnows and I'll have all the jigs on the boat. And depending on their skill levels, what we'll do for the day.
What's right now? What size, what weight jigs are you throwing?
I usually stick with the 116.
Well, they sure cast a lot easier.
They do. It's kind of a light jig, but if you add that split shot above it a little bit, you can get down there to that 12, 15 foot range to where some of them bigger fish are. And especially using live scope, you want to run that split shot to be able to see your bait. So if I need to get down quick, I can put a heavier split shot above it. Or if I just want a really slow fall, if I want it that way one day, I'll put a really light split shot on it.
How far up above your jig are you putting that split shot?
I probably put mine a little bit higher than most people. I'm probably around 10 inches or so.
Wow, that is kind of high up there. I do that sometimes, but I don't ever try. Do you think that helps with the movement of the jig, putting it up there like that?
Well, a lot of times I notice on the screen when I'm dropping on those fish, a lot of times they'll go up and hit the sinker, investigate it, see what that thing is. And I don't want them seeing that sinker first. And another reason I do that is because I think you get a little bit better flutter. Like if you're flipping past them brush piles, and if you have it real sinker on there and way up there above it, that jig just it makes a flutter motion over that brush pile that just drives them crazy. So.
Okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. Right now I've been fishing a lot of down wood and standing timber that I can cast to, and it's been pretty good. In fact, I caught a couple of really, really nice ones a couple of days ago. The biggest crappie I've caught in a long time. And today it was bass day. You know how that works. Some days unless you're in a boat or you're able to walk around different places, you're kind of stuck on the docks, which I like because it's easy to fish them docks. You just walk down there on a pad, you stand there, and you just catch fish. But
right,
and they all got structure around them, so I understand about running them over top of the brush piles, things like that. But until you figure that brush pile out, you're probably going to donate some jigs and equipment.
You will, and every day's a different day. You never know how they're going to want that bait presented. Some days they want it swimming past them, they want it moving, or they won't hit it. Some days it's got to sit there in front of them, just dead sticking it.
Yep. I've caught them that way, and I just started using the 16th ounce jigs here recently because I've been, of course, bluegill's my thing, and I've been fishing for them, and I've been using really, really small jigs. And it amazed me that even with them small jigs, I could catch crappie on them, and the hookup ratio has been pretty good.
Yeah.
So if it looks buggy, something probably going to bite.
I tie jigs a little bit, but I've never tied any for bluegill yet. So I've been kind of looking at different patterns and colors and stuff, trying to come up with something to catch bluegill with.
I caught a really good fish. A lady, Leslie Bacon, makes some baits called Little Miss Bacon baits. And she's a really nice lady. I believe she lives in California. And she made me some kind of buggy looking thing with legs and stuff on it it's about the size of a dime, maybe a little smaller than that. and I put one of them on a jig and just hung it over the side of the dock, and I caught 4 or 5 fish on it one evening. Just leaving it there, like you said, dead sticking it like you would out of a boat, and those bluegill was just tearing it up. But I tie a lot of my jigs on number 10 size hooks, 8 size hooks. I like the 8s but the best of all. But 10s are pretty small. But I've got a lot of jigs I tie that you can set on a dime and see all the way around it. But that's for finesse fishing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times the more aggressive fish will want something a little bigger.
Yeah, I've never tried to tie a jig that small, so that would definitely take some practice right there.
Well, it's not. Being able to see is the biggest thing. I got to put glasses on to tie them small ones. But I know Dockery, he's tied some on number 14s and 16 hooks, maybe some smaller ones than that. But he likes fishing really small stuff. The smaller, the better. I just want to catch the fish. Well, I will search colors and sizes and whatever plastics versus hand ties to find out what they want. But like you say, every day is a different day.
Right.
And that's how I go at it. Hello, Crappie Day, Darren. How are you doing tonight? Matt says he's been starting to like the wedge tail a little bit. Okay. I haven't tried any of those yet. I've seen them advertised, but I haven't tried any of those yet. I also, something I'm interested in, they got some swim baits that are about an inch or inch and a quarter long for crappie fishing, and I haven't tried those yet, and they intrigue me. They look like a regular swim bait with the flat tail on the back of them, where they get a lot of movement going through the water, and I can see where they would work. I know Mark is really big on Gulp Alive minnows.
Oh, really?
He catches bluegill and crappie and all kinds of stuff on them. I tell you, I've caught fish on them, but I don't have a lot of success with them. And maybe it's the way I'm fishing them. There's a guy that has a YouTube channel. I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but he fishes them things most days, and he wacky rigs them. And I'm thinking, what the hell? I never knew you would do that. But he has great success in his videos. Now, with videos, as you well know, having a YouTube channel, you might catch 50 fish, and it might all be in 15 minutes, or it might be over a period of a week, and you just edit the stuff out that's not in there. So I don't know how long a period of time he's fishing, but he does do a lot of wacky rigging them, hook them in the middle, and just jigs them. So might give that a try sometime. Solo Texan Adventures, welcome.
I don't have any of my jig heads here, but I do have some of the baits that I've been catching my fish on.
Oh, okay. Let me give you a solo shot to where you can see them.
Now, these things are tiny. They're going to be hard to see, but these are some baits made by a local company called State Line Bait Company. And these are called stingers, and they look a lot like the Bobby Garlands.
Right.
This
they do look nice.
Has been one of my favorites. It's called Banana Split. It's kind of a chartreuse and white. And they make these in 3 sizes. They make the stinger, the baby stinger, and they just come out not too long ago with a tiny stinger, which is really good for your panfish. A couple more of the colors that's worked for me. This is called Gizzard Shad.
That's cool there.
Yeah, it looks just like a shad in the water.
Is that top like a root beer color?
It's kind of got a green brown tint to it.
I see.
A bit of silver and red sparkle in it.
Welcome, Catfish Cowboy. I love them things. Man, the movement that comes out of them are amazing.
They are. And this one is just kind of a black back, pearl bottom. It's called Dinner Minner. This has been a real good one too.
That's very nice.
But it's
how long are them?
Huh?
How long is that one?
I think they may be 2 inches. This one right here, the big one. The baby stingers, which I use a lot of, they're probably about 1.5 inches. So
you'll ought to be deadly.
You'll have a little bit bigger profile by the time you add your jig head to it. But
sure.
on this particular lake that I fish a lot of the smaller baits tend to work better than the bigger ones.
That's what James Dockery keeps telling me all the time. And like I say, I'll go from small to large to medium and extra large, whatever it takes to get my bite. You know what I mean?
Well, let me say this before somebody blasts me on it, but the smaller baits on this lake will catch more fish. The bigger baits will catch bigger fish. I really agree with that, but you're not going to catch nowhere near the numbers.
I see.
And I have some people just want to come out and target, big fish. So if that's what they want to do, we do it. But most
if you're targeting big fish, you're going to be using a bigger bait, though, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Nubbies, welcome. Glad to see you made it in tonight. Got done putting some fishing lights on the pontoon. Awesome, man. What kind of a boat are you guiding out of now, Jeremy?
I bought a new Tracker Protein 175 last year, and so this is my second season on it.
Good. They got a lot of open space, right?
They do. I got the Bass Boat edition of it. It has the higher floors. They actually make a Crappie edition, which the floor sits down a little bit deeper. But I like to do a little bass fishing and stuff too. So
sure.
It's got enough front deck room. I can stand 3 people up there pretty easy. It's got a big live well and everything. So, I mean, for the price, it's a great boat. It'll get you out there, and you can have a couple buddies with you. You got plenty of room.
And you can't replace room. Greg Burgess has joined us. Welcome, Greg. Matt Wannabe Outdoors says, "What about bigger heads and smaller hooks?"
If I'm using a bigger head, the only reason I would do that is if I'm fishing deeper. Like if I'm fishing down, 20, 25 feet, and I need that jig to hurry up and get down there, that would be the only reason that I use those big heads. But maybe some of your clear lakes, like your Del Hollow lakes, that you need to, sometimes them fish get 40, 50 feet deep. So you need
down
there. But at the same time, you want kind of a smaller profile hook and bait to present.
Right. I understand that. I'm missing something here. I was going to welcome somebody else into the show, and now I can't find it. Huh. It doesn't surprise me, really. Once the chat gets going, it rolls right along sometimes. John Boy's catfishing. Welcome, buddy. Glad to see you made it in here tonight. 16th size jig head is about as big as I normally use for any kind of panfish. Now, if it was down 40 feet, I'd probably put an 1/8 on.
Right.
I've got a bunch of those. I just don't use them because I don't know. I don't need to get down there that fast. And my opinion is the lighter that you got, it flutters, floats, movement as it drops down is better than, because if you put an 1/8 ounce, it's going straight down. It just is, because there's nothing to hold them up. So I have another question. Do you do any slip cork fishing?
No, not really. I know that's real popular with everybody. When they come down here in the spring and want to catch them in April or during the spawn, if they want to do that, we'll do that. But if it's just me fishing, I don't mess with a bobber. I just go flip my jig, do my thing. That's the way I like to catch them.
I see.
Watching that bobber, I know it's fun to everybody.
It is fun. It really is fun. I love catching bluegill that way, but I like catching them on jigs too. But the thing I like about a slip fork, it's kind of like a dead stick. I can toss one out in an area I don't know if there's any fish in there or not, and if there's any wind, the wind will sit there and move that jig up and down on that bobber, and you can just let it float around. And if you start catching them, then you can cast to that area. And if you're not, you know it's kind of dead.
Yeah, and that could be a huge advantage. Say if the fish are finicky one day and they want that bait still.
Yep.
If I'm pitching to them, that bait's going to be coming back to me the whole time. But if you got
exactly right
bobber, you can hold it still and sit there and shake it.
Yep, that's for sure. Our downtown Ernie Brown has joined us. Good to see you in here now. But yeah, I agree that bobbers, it's a lot of fun, and especially with kids, they love watching them, and they like to see them dance around and go under and all that stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of that with bluegill. I've been trying to do some of it with crappie with limited success right now for whatever reason. But let's face it, it's been pretty damn hot.
Yeah. Now, how deep will you fish with a slip bobber?
I was fishing 8 to 10 feet today.
Okay. Is that about the maximum depth you would go on it?
That's as much as I fish on that lake.
Yeah.
I don't know how deep the lake is, but I wasn't catching anything on a slip bobber that deep today. Now, yesterday it wasn't that way. They was deeper than that. Today they wasn't that deep for whatever reason. So you don't know. But yeah, as long as you can move that bobber stop knot, I can cast them right through the guides on any of the rods I got. So you can set it as deep as you want it. But I knew about how deep it was where I was fishing, so I was I just set it out there when the wind started. I didn't use it until the wind started blowing. Then set it out there and I'd cast it out, and then the wind was blowing into a bunch of stumps, and I'd let it float over them stumps. And if you're too deep, your slip bobber will turn sideways. You know you're too deep, reel it in and pull it up a little bit. Solo Texas Adventure says, what type of knots do you tie on the jigs, and do you ever use swivels with them? Great question.
I don't personally use swivels. You usually don't have much trouble with your jigs trying to spin or anything in the water. As far as the knots I just use I don't even know what you call it, a regular fisherman knot. Nothing fancy. I know a lot of the guys, when they're using jigs, they like to tie those loop knots.
Mm-hmm.
They say you get a little bit better action with your jigs and stuff with the loop knots.
I don't know that I think a lot of that's personal preferences. I use a slip knot a lot of the time, but the reason I do it is it seems like if you tie that knot really tight to the jig head, the eye on that, if you're not careful, a lot of them will set up or down. And with a loop knot, they seem to most of the time set kind of where I want them. Of course, you have to allow for the fact that you're reeling it back in too.
Right.
So I think a lot of that's personal preference, but I do use a slip knot a lot. But yeah, an old trilene knot or fisherman's knot, that's kind of hard to beat. It works, and I use the improved clinch knot if I'm doing that quite a bit, because a regular clinch knot I have had slip through and you lose hooks and stuff, but an improved clinch knot you do not.
Yeah, and I think the key to it is just cinching it down really good and tight. If you got that line cinched down good and tight to that jig head, it's going to set. That jig's going to set right there.
Right. Like you want it. That's exactly right. Trophy Seekers Outdoors has joined us. Welcome. We're glad to see you in here. We got quite a few people in here. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, if you appreciate the great guests we have tonight, go ahead and hit that for us. It means a lot. Helps the channel out a little bit. And if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Also, go check Jeremy's channel out. Mark put that link up a while ago, so you can scroll back up to get it. And subscribe to him, because you had told me before the show that you hadn't been doing a lot of content for YouTube, but you're going to start putting her back up. So people need to get in there and watch that.
Yeah, I haven't done much the last couple of years with YouTube, but now I've kind of got the bug to kind of do it a little bit more. I've got a few videos out, but I haven't had anything out very consistent. But we're fixing to put some stuff out. We got a lot of stuff we're fixing to put out. So
good. Now, you also was telling me, I think it was before the show, about fishing out of a kayak when you go out by yourself. And would you mind telling us about your kayak? You just explain it to me, and that way everybody knows what you got and how you're catching these things.
Yeah. If you watch my old videos, me and my son, we used to go out in the boat, and catch them and stuff all the time. And my son don't fish quite as much as he used to with me. And I watch Ryan Boards and kayak catfish and all them, and I wanted to try to catch a big catfish out of a kayak. And the first time I caught one like 40 plus pounds, I mean, I was just hooked. It was such a rush.
Oh,
And
bad.
I've really got into the kayak fishing. So I still do a lot of it here on my home lake. Uh,
Thanks, Matt.
I just bought another kayak the first of the year. It's a new Canoe Unlimited. It's one of the biggest ones there is. It's 41 inches wide, and it's about like a little John boat, to be honest with you. But I got it set up right, and it's put some good fish in the boat, and I enjoy fishing out of it. It just you ain't got all the fancy stuff with you.
Right. Well, some of them guys got pretty nice depth finders and different things in trolling motors and all that stuff, but you don't have all that, right?
Well, I have a remote control trolling motor. I got a motor guide, 54-pound thrust on the front, and I'm running a Humminbird helix for my unit. And that's about as fancy as mine gets.
Right, and that's probably all you need. Thanks, Matt, for putting that link up for us. 40, what'd you say, 41 inches wide?
Yes.
I know Ryan had told me one time that his was almost 4 foot wide. Them's big kayaks, big wide ones. So you got a lot of stability with that.
Yeah, I think Ryan's is like 39 or 40, if I ain't mistaken.
That's pretty good size.
Yeah.
How long is it?
Mine is 12 and a half foot.
12 and a half foot.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good size little kayak.
Yeah, it sounds like it. You can't haul that in the back of your truck, can you?
No, it's not easy to load and unload. It's about, with dry weight, it's like 80 something pounds, I think. But by the time you
that's all.
Seats, motors, tackle, rod rack, and all that, I mean, I'm up there around 200 pounds without
right. What's the weight capacity on that kayak?
I can't remember if it's 450 or 550. It's way up there.
That is way up there, yeah.
I want to say it's 550.
What's the name of his? I don't know what that means, Matt. Matt says Ryan has a Jackson kayak, used to be a tandem kayak. Okay. Didn't know that. I know I've talked to him about it. He said it was really wide. He's a big guy.
Yeah, Ryan's really tall.
Yeah, he's like 6'6" or something.
Yeah. Ryan's running a bona fide XTR this year.
He's what?
He's running a bona fide XTR kayak. It's the one he's running this year. It actually has a platform on the front where you can stand up and cast. It's got a casting deck on the front.
I'd like that if I didn't fall out of the damn thing. That's the only thing that worry me. Just falling out of it. But 4 foot wide, that's pretty wide. It'd have to be pretty stable. And I can see, not that I'm going to have one, but I can see advantages of being able to get in places that you can't get in with, say, my boat, that deep V. There's places you can't get in with it. It's just that simple. Nuisance, okay. But yeah,
on my YouTube channel, you can. I have a couple, 2 or 3 videos catching these catfish out of a kayak. I don't think I have none out of my new kayak yet. It was the one I was running the last couple of years. It's a bona fide. It was a little bit smaller. I think it was only 36 inches wide. And so my butt puckered quite a bit in that thing.
Yeah, I bet.
But we caught some 40-plus pound fish out of it, and it made some good video. If you want to check it out.
Yeah. Hello, 205. Welcome in the chat. Glad to see you made it. 36 inches. That's 3 feet. That's not that wide when you sit down in that seat. And now they're not pedal drives. So do you sit down inside them or do you sit up above on them?
I like to sit up real high.
Well, you can see better.
Yeah. Especially sometimes I'll bass fish and stuff, and I like to be set up high. And my trolling motor sticks up quite a bit. So, I just like that clearance. I don't like to be laying down in it. I have a bad back anyway, so
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I have a bad back, and there's no way that I could lay down in one of them things and make that work. And I wouldn't be interested in that at all. I think that it would be easier on your legs, knees, back, everything if you set up. That's just my opinion.
it is. And
Swivel seat on a kayak is a must for big fella.
it
Makes
is.
sense.
And I have the 360 swivel seat in it, the Millennium seat in it, so that helps out a lot too. You don't have
Them
to set.
Millennium seats are a godsend, man.
Yeah,
They really are. I don't know if you can get those redone or not when they go bad, but man, they're great seats. And the thing I like about them most of all, if it rains or something and you decide you want to go fishing, just take your hand and whack it, and the water falls off, and you don't get swamp ass.
yeah, they're good and cool too.
Yeah, they breathe, and they're just a great product. And I know now that there's several other companies that have come out with seats like that, but in my opinion, from what I've seen, they're still the number one on the market.
Right.
We'll see how that goes in the future. What are your plans for the next, 2 or 3 years of guiding and YouTube videos and stuff?
As far as YouTube, I want to put out a bunch of stuff. I want to show the different techniques and stuff, how I catch them. I want to have videos out there that explain how you can go about catching them if you're not, say you're getting into crappie fishing or you don't know how to do it a whole lot. I just want these videos to be able to teach people and be able to see stuff they can apply to their own lakes and stuff they can go out and do and help them be successful.
Jeremy, Monday night on Catfish Weekly, I talked about a friend of mine that I consider one of the greatest fishermen of all time, Harold Dodd. And Harold told me years ago, he was a guest on Catfish Weekly long, long time ago. He doesn't guide anymore or do any of that stuff. He's kind of retired from everything. But he told me then, he said, if people would make instructional videos, and he said, I'm not talking about the ones that are out today. Now, this is probably 10 years ago or longer. He said, these guys that are trying to tell people how to fish, they don't know how to fish. He said, you got to start from the beginning and explain every step of the way what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you do it. And if you can do that, you'll be very successful making videos. And I believe him.
Oh, that's true for sure. And do you watch Mike Baker at all?
I do.
Mike is a great teacher, I think.
He is. He is. He's a great fisherman, really nice guy. We've had him on here before. He does a lot of crappie fishing. He does a lot of catfishing. And he's very good about showing stuff and telling people why he does things. You're right. He does really good. He doesn't. He lives down. Well, he lived in Columbia for a long time and had a law practice. I don't know if he still does that or not. He may be retired for that, but he lives down Truman Lake now. Fishes down there a lot. He catches a lot of fish, man. And he'll troll for them. He'll jig for them. He'll do everything. Whatever he decides that he wants to do that day, he'll just jump in it and knock it out.
Yeah.
I really like mine.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
If you guys have any questions for Jeremy, it'd be a great time to get him out here so he can answer them. I know we've had a few questions. I figured we'd have a lot more, but maybe somebody will have some more before we end the show. What's the biggest crappie you ever caught?
Oh man, it's a toss up between two. Years ago, I caught one that was 16 3/4 inches long.
Oh wow!
With me, so I have no idea what it weighed. And this was probably when I was like around 20, 21 years old, and I'm 49 now, so it's been a minute. I caught one back this May down in Tennessee. I was actually bass fishing on a crankbait, and I caught another 16-incher. I didn't have a scale with me on the boat that day, but I know the fish was over 2 pounds. How much, I don't know.
Right. That's a dandy 16-inch fish. They're just giants.
Yeah.
That one I caught the other day was around 14 inches, and I thought it was huge,
Yeah, if you catch 13 and 14-inch fish here on this lake, I mean, that's a really big fish for this lake.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's a big fish anywhere, but on a small lake, it's even better. 205 Wild Action says, Jeremy, what's your favorite crappie bait this time of the year?
Oh, this time of the year, it'd probably be that baby stinger. I really like throwing that thing. It's about 1.5 inches long, chartreuse and white. Just mimics a minnow just really well the way it comes through the water. And pull it over them brush piles and around that standing timber. They can't stand it.
I have said this many a time, and I don't know if people really understand it, but wood structure is my favorite thing to fish, whether it's laid down, standing timber, or brush piles. It doesn't seem to matter. What matters is the type of fish you're fishing for, but they all can relate to wood structure because it's a natural thing that's in the water.
And that's my favorite too, Lyle. I'm not one of those guys that chase fish, the roaming fish in open water. I don't like that.
No, I don't either.
I know you have to do that to get a check in the tournament. And
Yep, that's right.
But I'm just old school, I guess. I like fishing the brush piles and the timber. That's just fun to me.
Oh, they are. They are. And if you do you put out any brush piles, or you just use the ones that's already there?
Every now and then I'll put one out, but our lake is so good about the corps of engineers. They put out so many brush piles on this lake. I mean, there's just hundreds out there to fish. I mean, so there's not a shortage of them. And so,
are they like cedar tree brush piles, or?
I've used cedar trees, but the best structure I've ever put out, it's a 4x4 post, and I'll screw a bunch of smaller sticks to it, all the way down different ways.
Right.
Something about it, if you sink it where that 4x4 is just horizontal like that,
your
bigger fish tend to hang on that.
Really?
Yes, I've caught more big fish on stuff that's, horizontal like that versus vertical.
How long do you think it takes them fish to find new structure?
I don't think it takes them long at all. These crappie move more than people think they do. Just like the bass and stuff, they're going to get on the flats. They're going to chase this bait fish. They'll come and set up on this structure for a few hours or something, then they're off again. I mean, and how I know that's because we can go fish a brush pile. We can fish that thing clean one day, come back tomorrow, that thing's reloaded.
Right.
That tells me these fish are moving around.
I agree. And I think all fish move around.
And I specifically like to target the brush piles that's right off the creek channel on the edge of a flat or something, because that's where you get a lot of fish moving in and out, and they'll stop and hang out on that strip.
Exactly. Yeah.
Real quick.
What about moving water and coming out of, say you're fishing that spot where at a creek mouth, if there's moving water in there, does that help your crappie bite?
Well, we don't have any current on our lake. We're just a flood control lake. We don't have like any rivers that run through this lake or anything. And so when we do have current, when they're pulling this water out of the dam, these fish hate that. The crappie just hate it.
Really?
There's smaller windows during the day that they will feed and stuff. But once they turn that dam off, the water level gets stabilized for a day or two. I mean, they get more active and bite longer throughout the day.
I see. Makes sense to me. Schmieder says, what's your retrieval technique around those brush piles this time of year?
Well, like I said earlier, it just depends on the mood of the fish. I'll usually start out, I'll pitch right past the brush pile, and I like to slowly swim it right over the top of it, right over the top of the heads of these fish. If that's not working, I know they want something slower. I'll drop down. I may sit there and just dead stick it. But my preference is just pitching to them and swimming that bait right by them.
Yep, that makes sense to me. Matt says, do you have a website for your guiding service?
No, I do not. A lot of people find me on Fishing Booker, which is an app. And I just basically the only advertising I do is on my Facebook page and word of mouth. But we're staying pretty busy. Right now, I have 16 lined up to do right now.
Nice.
So it's going to be a busy fall.
Yeah, I think so. Dawson has joined us with Fishing with Squirrel. He got a new video out talking about putting a third pontoon underneath his pontoon boat. Very interesting. I enjoyed it very much. If you guys haven't checked out Dawson's channel, go over and check him out, and you'll enjoy what he's done, because he's like we was talking about earlier, Jeremy. He shows measurements of what it did before and after and all kinds of stuff. I really enjoyed watching that video. It was done very, very well.
Now, who is this?
Fishing with Squirrel, Dawson.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it was a really well done video. I enjoyed, but all his stuff's really good. So, but yeah, if you haven't checked him out, go check him out. Solo Texas Venture says, "What's your recommended line and test? Also, jig head type and weight." A lot of these people, Jeremy, I know we went through this, but they probably wasn't in the beginning of the show, and we'll have to go through it again.
As far as line, I've used several different types of line, but I always go back to Vicious line. They make a really strong line. I can put a 4 or a 6 pound test on there, and I still have the confidence that I can boat flip a 1.5 pound fish. It's just really strong line. It's never let me down.
Did you say Vicious?
Yes.
This kind of Vicious?
Yep, that's it.
I just bought some of that to try.
It's good stuff. I usually use the fluorescent colors. Yep, that'll work. 6 pounds strong. Sometimes I'll have the 8 pound on if I'm fishing some heavy stuff, just depending on where I'm at. But 6 pounds all you need. A very strong line for 6 pound line, I'm going to tell you.
I seen that the other day, and I bought the 4 pound, and I've had it hung up a couple times, and I had seen nothing wrong with it. It doesn't have so far, I've noticed it doesn't have as much memory as a lot of other lines that I've used, and I like 4 pound for castability, but sometimes I like 6 pound. Depends on what I'm doing, but so far, I've had good luck with that. I've only got it on one reel, but we'll see how that works out.
And I think the 6 pound's pretty good about it, but I know the 8 pound line, if you get hung up in that brush pile, it'll straighten the hook before it breaks.
Really?
Yeah, the 8 pound's really
wow.
Good. And a lot of the times you can get by with it on the 6 pound line.
Here's your links you was looking for to go check out putting that tuna, that third pontoon underneath there. It's very well done. You guys, if you don't enjoy watching that video and what he went through putting that underneath there, then how-tos are probably not your thing, because it's very well done. And he's entertaining on top of it. And that's something else I wanted to talk to you about, Jeremy. I think that entertainment factor in videos is important as content. I think people have to be entertained to watch it. Now, I touched on this the other night a little bit. People that make videos that are not personable, and then they have a video if they don't catch any fish, you don't watch them very long. But the guy that's catching fish and commentating to his audience and relating to them about how and why and what he's doing, he'll go a long way in the YouTube industry.
Yeah. You got to have good personality, I guess. And I'm probably, on my crappie videos, I'm probably kind of boring a little bit. I will explain stuff and show you what I'm doing. But like if you watch my kayak videos, when I'm catching them big catfish out of the kayaks, it's probably a lot more entertaining, because you can tell my butt's puckered, and you don't know what's going to happen next. So it's
all right. I got you, man.
Yeah, they're probably a little bit more entertaining to watch.
Yep, they are. Bugman says, Fishing with Squirrel, I have not watched it yet, but the side scan video is what I need also. He has some really good side scan videos out and stuff on how they work and what he does to do it. And folks, when Dawson makes these videos, what he applies, no matter what kind of depth finder he's using, that technology is similar on Humminbird, Lowrance, Garmin. Doesn't seem to matter. If you can take what he's telling you and apply it to yours, the technology is basically the same. So if it's working, it's working. It doesn't matter. If he's got side scan, if he's got down imaging, if he's got 2D sonar, all that works the same on all those, are basically the same. There'll be a few differences here and there. But when he's telling you how to use that side scan, pay attention because you'll like it.
Yeah, I don't use my side scan to find the fish, but if I'm going to a new place and I'm looking for the structure, I will definitely run my side scan. That's mainly what I use it for.
Yeah, I agree. And I tell you what I like doing on fine bluegill beds.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you can pick them babies right out and just have your way with them. And you can actually see the little white spots in the beds, and that's the fish. So you know they're there. And if it's dry and there's no spots in them divots, you just wasted your time. You might as well go look for something else. Matt says definitely don't want to watch his videos in because he's a poster child for awkward when video, and that's not true. I watched a live that he had the other night when he was fishing. I was thoroughly entertained, enjoyed it very much, stayed for a long time. Finally, just had to go to bed. You know, that's what happens. Yes, Solo Texas Venture Squirrel does a good job with his videos, very detailed and easy to understand. And that's something else, Jeremy, that I've noticed, that it has to be in layman's terms where everybody can understand it. Because let's face it, your son knows more about computers and technology stuff than I'll ever know because he learns it in school. They don't even have computers now in school. So these kids, and not just kids, but younger generations, have a lot more technology and know how to use it than a lot of us older guys do. And it makes it easier for them. But they need, when they make these videos, needs to explain how and why so everybody understands what you're talking about.
That's right. And I think your editing, it's a big thing too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say, and I know Keith pretty well, he loves editing videos. That's his thing with fishing and stuff. But he's really, really good at it. And his quality of what he puts out is contributed to the success he's had. And let's face it, he's a big time. He's big time. And there's not a better person in the world to visit with, really enjoying. Well, listen, we've been going on about an hour. I appreciate you being on here and everybody that's been in chat. It's been a lot of fun. And let's try not to make it so long next time before we have you back on here.
Oh, we'll definitely make it happen.
Absolutely. Hope the family's doing well. Tell them I said hey, and thanks for joining us tonight, Jeremy. Thanks, everybody, for watching Panfish Nation. Mark will be back with us next week, and we'll see what we can come up with for some entertainment for you folks. Thanks for watching.